Thank you for continuing being with us here on Good Morning Kenya. This is Family Check, and today we're just focusing on how we can manage the anxiety that comes with the exam results that are recently put out last week, and we just want to share with you informative steps that you can take to help you navigate these waters as a parent, as a child, and also as a teacher. We are using the hashtag Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. At KBC Channel 1 is our official station handle. My handle is at Jain Wambui, and I see Kezia saying this is a very vital conversation. We need to tell parents they need to speak better with their children when it comes to the results. Yes, some may be disappointed, but how you speak to your children really matters. And this actually brings me to the next point that I want us to focus on, and it's the aspect of talking it out. Because as a parent, sometimes you're quick to speak out of anger. Mtoto akikukasirisha saa zingine anakujanga na mambo mbaya, and you are quick to react. And also results are a very emotive matter. Let me start with you, Catherine. When it comes to fine, you have accepted. Number 2, you're not comparing your child. And number 3, you're trying to talk it out with your child. But in some way, you also might find yourself comparing them to another child or another sibling. How do you suggest we go about talking it out with our children based on the results that they got, and especially if they didn't do as well as you as a parent and the child were expecting?
Thank you. Let me say this. First of all, be realistic. Be realistic. If your child has been performing at this level, maybe an average student, and you are expecting them to do like the A students, now that is not being realistic. If they have been doing at a certain level, and that is where they are, you can't just now start telling them you didn't do well. This is the time we tell them you did the best you could, but you can do better. Let us keep encouraging them. Last time when we were talking, we talked about what you water, it will grow. If you keep on encouraging them and showing them how they can and doing the adjustments that they need to do for them to get better, they will get better. But if you keep on telling them they have not done anything, or maybe you keep on bringing them down, trust me, that is what is going to happen. They will always have anxiety. They will always feel like they're not enough. Instead of focusing, they will continue looking at themselves like, we cannot do it. So let us encourage them and use the right words. One of the things I usually tell parents to do and the students is focus. What is your focus? Your focus is your child. So many times we focus on the education and you forget the child. This is the child who is going to perform. How are they themselves? Where are they in their life? Maybe there are other things that are not making them perform, but you have all your energy, you focused it on the performance, forgetting the child. Where is your focus? Know where your focus is. And the child, where is your focus? Is your focus at the education or any something else? You have to know. Again, when at this level, children don't know how to differentiate their gifts, their talents, and what they're supposed to do. It is the work of the parent to know this. The time for talent is this is the time we do this is the time for education, this is the time for this. We mix them so up and we end up messing the child. They come out not being the best, not because they are not the best, but because we did not guide them the way they should be guided.
Beautiful. I like that aspect of being realistic, because sometimes we tend to not be realistic. Let me come to you, Catherine. Also, when it comes to speaking to children, and especially being a teen mentor and understanding the impact that words have on our children, and especially when they come from the parent.
Parents, I want us to know what words are. They can be a tool or a weapon. A tool to bring them up, or a weapon to destroy them. And I said we want to give each one of us hope, and hope does not disappoint. Parent, I want you to make sure that you use words not to demean the child, but to water the children and bring a lot of hope in it. And Jane, you know, they called me a bookwormer. And at the end of the day, now they sit and admire me. Madam, Mom, I want to tell you, just because your child has scored low on KCPE, that is not the end of life. There is still hope. And Jane, as a teens mentor, I normally talk to children from things that they can relate to with. When you enter into a house, there's a roof. The roof always tells us, aim very high. So as these children, Mommy, you need to tell them to keep aiming very high. Then there's a mirror. They need to reflect before they take any action, because I know very soon they are going to Form 1. So Mommy, I'm giving you words that you can use to tell your child. Then there's a calendar that tells us as up to date but do not date. So that even as they struggle with their grades and they go into high school, they're not going to start dating and get more confused. Then there's the door that tells you push very hard to your destiny. So mommy, what we need to do is do what we did at birth. We all gave birth through one area. Push. We pushed. So what you need to do is use that word push on our children, where push is telling us persist until something happens. Mommy, your words are alive. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. So use your words to water these children, not to demean these children. Then also you tell them, look at the window. As far as you can see, that is what you can get. And for you children, as you go into Form 1, there are a lot of hurdles that you need to pass by. But for parents, I also want you to look back. And remember, even from the day you're making that child, that seed won. You can imagine how many seeds were competing to become the baby that won. So many children died before they were born. Others fell off the education lane, but yours persisted until where they are. So what you're going to do is we hold them. We bear the shame if there's any. We own the blame. We say, yes, it is true, it's called true, but look at our future, because our tomorrow story is in the hands of God. And you know, Jane, we forget that we have people that are called slow learners. And I thank God for CBC, because CBC is now going to help the slow learners. You could be pushing your child to bring in an A, and they cannot. So you need to be able to take them at their level and push them to do the very best. Remember, I have said, even when we are delivering, we are told push by the doctor. We need to tell our children, persist until something happens. Let us use our words very well. You have a choice, as a weapon or as a tool.
As a weapon or as a tool. Now, let's move on to the next aspect, and this is understanding that you still have options.
Yeah.
Because that is also another area that, and especially the parents struggle with, like sasa utenda shule gani, and ilikuwa nataka uende hii na hii na sasa juwezi enda hii utenda shule gani. When it comes to mapping out your options with your child in a healthy manner, as opposed to telling them sasa jujenda ujapata nilikuwa nataka utaenda huku, because that is where that is in line with the results that you got, but limiting them to one option, and yet they have so many other options. When it comes to mapping out your options with your child, how do you advise parents to go about this? Mercy?
This one, I would love them to do this. First of all, look at this child. Let them understand who they are. Let them understand who they are. Let them understand what is happening. Let them understand they have a responsibility to take care of their lives. Yeah, they have to. This is called transitioning, because now they are coming from the primary level to the secondary level. After they understand, this is who I am, let them know, where am I coming from? The reason why I'm here is because I didn't manage to go here. So where am I coming from? Let's even look at their background. Allow them to understand everything. And from there, they will be able to make choices. They will be able to make the most of what they have right now. Instead of looking at what they missed, they'll start taking the best they have now. And this is why you see the children who didn't score very well, they go to school and they score very well, because they know this is what I have, this is who I am, this is where I'm coming from, and this is where I want to go. So what do? They focus. Once they go to school, they're able to focus. It's follow one course until successful. They know I've come to school to learn. So after they understand, this is who I am, I'm coming from this, this is where I'm coming from, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on my education. It's only 4 years. And that way, you're going to help them to go to the next level. They know that we didn't get this, but we can get where we want to go by using what we have.
Your thoughts on the same, Catherine, allowing your child to actually see the options that they have, as opposed to just limiting them because they got this, you don't give them options.
Thank you, Jane. As Mercy said, let us be realistic.
Yeah.
Look at the report form for your child from when they went at class. If they have never scored at 250, I know God works miracles, but you do not expect that 250 never achieved to get us to 350. So that again, we don't take them to a school that is too high for them. They are going to get lost. We take them to a school at their level, and there are very many options. Yes, we might not all get to the government schools, but there are private schools that are also very pocket friendly. We take them there. But again, as we are saying, the teacher the children and the parents, we all did the exam, but the child is the one that's now going to go to high school. So that now we take them to a school that is not going to be so strenuous or them, but again we take them telling them you have an appointment with your destiny. And this is what the word of God says. Jane, I speak by the word. If your goals are good, you will be respected, but if you're looking for trouble, that is what you're going to get. So this child knows, I have goals in life. What are my goals? Goal number one for you, child, regardless of the marks that you got, is to make sure that you better it. Even if you don't better it, do not lose it. Then parents, we make sure that we fund them up to get to their destiny. And when you look at that goal, I want to say it to you children as an acronym. G tells me go, N-O tells me on, A tells me avoid, L tells me laziness. Go on, avoid laziness. Look at yourself, child, and ask yourself a good question. Did I score what I scored because I deserved it? Was that the very best I did? And if it was not the very best you did, there's always room for improvement. You make sure that you're so glued to improving yourself so that you're not going to get distractors, because as we advance in life, more distractors come, so that you can always do the same thing. I'm telling you that you have an appointment with your destiny. And parents, I want to tell you, failing an exam does not make you a failure in life. There's still a lot of hope. And Jane, I want to emphasize again, and hope does not disappoint. Our children have not performed very well, but there is still hope. And then again, as you go into high school, make sure you don't go and sit with people that perform the same with you. Look for somebody that can pull you up. Look for somebody in that class that can mentor you. But again, as you get mentored, make sure you avoid tormentors, because you can get there with your 400, with your 319, and you find yourself scoring nothing because you went into the wrong team. So parents, we hold our children, together we walk, and together we shall get better.
How do you encourage these kids to stay ambitious? Because that is also another aspect that they really struggle with, based on the results that they got. Like, okay, fine, I got this, so what more is there for me? How do we encourage these kids to also stay ambitious in line with the dreams that they have for themselves? Mercy?
The best way is to remind them that they're all coming at the same level. When we go to Form 1, it doesn't matter the person who came with the highest or the lowest. We all started Form 1. One of the things I usually tell them is, you are coming from the highest class from primary school, but here you are coming to the lowest class in high school. So that is where we are starting there. Let us all start here. And once you start there, if you don't lose focus here, you will be fine. This is a very good encouragement, and even teachers know how to do it when the children come. They know how to put them in their level, and they even know how to, when they are gauging them, they keep on gauging them from how they came and how they are going to help them and get better. Yeah, so keep encouraging them. That is, whatever they got in primary school, it ends here. Let us all start afresh, and then we keep on going.
Now, Catherine, I'd like for you to speak to parents when it comes to also giving these kids time. We give them so much pressure, like unaingia Form 1, sasa, you know you need to perform. You don't even give them time to adjust to the many more subjects that they're taking on. You just expect them to go there. If you got 400 in your KCPE, ukifika huko, I want straight A's in everything. Understanding that as a parent, you need to give your child time to also adjust.
We need also to be very realistic. Once again, this child is coming from primary school where they had children from the same neighborhood. Some of them are going to national school. They are going to find children from everywhere in Kenya. Some that have various, others do not have various. Some that are of the same region, others do not even believe that there is a God in heaven. So parents, what we need to do is we draw a graph for our children and our expectations, so that we can be able to be realistic and tell them, we expect you to move from point 1 to point 2. And then children, you must own the process by believing and becoming better every day. And parents, we need to draw an action plan for our children. I normally call it stages A to F, where a child has an action to do every day. And this action, again, it depends on the behavior and the character of the child in school. We have an action, we have behavior, we have character in school, then we have D, a lot of discipline. Because without discipline, we cannot be successful in life. Then E, there is a lot of enthusiasm in it. The child should be able to visualize the person they want to become in life, so that you can be able to see, I want to become that madam, that nurse, or I want to become the Jain of KBC then. So that every day that image disturbs you and that image propels you to go on. Then F, a lot of faith. Parents, we must have a lot of faith in our children. And you know, children easily give in to their friends, because as teenager, the best thing that you want to do is belong. And the word friends, we see it has heads at the head. So parents, we must make sure we also now become not only a parent but a friend to them, so that we can be checking every day. And when we see the graph is going down, we need to ask, we need to apply the skill like normally said, we have eyes that are hearing. Because Jane, I don't want us to sit here and deny that it's not going to be bumpy when they go into high school. They might go there and get homosexuality. The other day we had our CS talk about all the same, so that this child, when they come home, you ask them everything, what happened in school, where, because we lose our children not in Form 1 but in Form 2. So that we can be able to journey together with them. Remember, I have given you the ABF, where we have an action for the child every day, where this action is driven by behavior, where this behavior is driven by character, where this character is driven by discipline, where this discipline is driven by the enthusiasm in them, the vision, they want to visualize who they are. Then we have faith in them, and we have faith in the system. Then we are going to deliver our children, because I don't want to lose our children by just getting grades A's. Jane, I normally say, we can get all the grades, but we can be clever devils.
We can be clever devils. Now, how do we also help our children work on their shortcomings? In as much as they also did get very good results, they did get everything. And if they didn't get very good results, they still have their fair share of shortcomings. As a parent, now that you are preparing your child to move on to the next level of education, and this is high school, which comes with its own fair share of challenges. I remember high school was a whole experience. How do we help our children work on their own shortcomings? Because, and especially for most of them, who will be going to boarding schools? Mercy.
I'll start where Catherine talked about be a friend to your child. How do you help your child if you don't know what is happening to them? One, when you become a friend to your child, they'll open up to you. So their challenges, you will know them firsthand, and you'll be able to help them. Number two, help them change their attitude. Some of them, the attitude they have, even like now going to Form 1, they already feel like it is away from home. Yeah, most of them. Let me talk about the ones who have a chance to go to the camps before they go to secondary school. In these camps, they are taught how to transit. They are taught how to handle school change. They are taught how to do things on their own. The ones who don't, they need to have someone to work with them, because the transition, if it doesn't happen so well, the challenges will keep on continuing, because change is inevitable.
Yes. And
it is happening so fast. So if this child is not able to transit here, and how can you help this child transit? It's becoming a friend. One, the only important things in teens, they just want to be listened. We usually think they are rebellious, they are bad people, but just listen to a teen. You will be so shocked. Listen and listen with, Catherine talks about eyes that hear, the touch that listens, all those. If you listen like that, you will get them at the right time, and you'll be able to adjust their mindset. If they were thinking it is too tough, they'll be able to understand, no, this is a stage. It is not tough, it is just a stage, and they'll be able to handle it. As a parent, again, this is the time you come to their level, not in your thinking and everything, but so that you reach them to where they are. Because if you keep on talking to them like this, you're still commanding them. So they'll keep on rebelling to you. Come to their level, know what they like. When I say a friend, hang out with them, have some games with them, so that they understand we are all able to talk to each other. It is not only you telling me don't do. Another thing, we only tell them what not to do, especially the part of sexuality. Yeah. So another day we were talking to teens, and they only told us we asked them, what has your parent ever told you about sexuality or sex? Most of the girls said they were told boys are bad. Boys are not bad, because you see that information has not been given very well. If you just give them boys are bad, you have to. Catherine talks about giving information, warnings, and educating them. Let us talk to them the way it should be. Boys, if it is telling them about their sexuality, it's not that boys are bad. Tell them, why are we saying this? Let them understand. They totally understand. So let us not tell them what to do, but tell them what to do. These boys, how do you handle them? What is the stage you should know? Here, I'm going too far. Yeah? In the stage of affection, it talks about holding hands, hugging, we go to kissing, we go to underwear zone, and then we go to sexual intercourse. They will know, where am I supposed to stop it? Where is it a danger zone? Like that, not just telling them no and you don't tell them why.
We are quick to communicate what we don't want and not what we want. You leave there what you want for them to figure it out for themselves. Also coming to you, Catherine, looking at how we can help our children work on their shortcomings, even if it means getting them mentorship as you passionately do.
What you also need to do as parents is we need to table our shortcomings on them. If they realize that you had a struggle in school, they'll see, mommy, you're human. But now mommy and daddy, they sit at a place of, they are so perfect, the children are wondering, and where did I come from? So we need to help them understand. Like, they need to understand when they go into Form 1 the first day, anybody that is super artificially friendly with them, they are suggesting something. And they normally, children tell me, when they go into Form 1, somebody comes and makes for them their bed. Then they make sure they don't miss breakfast. Then I have to tell them, now you have to be very alert. And the next time this person that is coming to help them, because these are the ones that are not very straight, they'll come and touch them in an appropriate way. And then they'll say, excuse me. And then if you're not careful, then they will be recruiting into homosexuality. So we need to speak it out. Parents, we have an advantage if it's a journey that we have walked through. So we know where the pitfalls are, what I normally call a hot one, where we are so honest with them, where we are so open with them, where we are so truthful with them, that they must go to that school, but they must make sure that they don't fit in, so that they can be outstanding. They don't belong to every person. And you know, now as they go into Form 1, Jain, is where they fight that peer pressure, where they're telling each other, mavajoni fara. And me, I normally tell wasichana msipeane na sio karamu. So you have to tell them and why wasifanye sex, because sex is what is costing our girls to drop out of school. Sex is what is making us have a lot of STDs. The other day it was reported that in Kenya, most of us that are pregnant, we have severies. So that this child knows what I call 3 Fs. They have a fact, they have a fear, and they have faith, so that as they go, we don't leave them to go and maneuver and find out, because teenagehood is a very good time, a very appropriate time, but can be a time to be disfigured. So we help them walk the talk by relaying what we went through, by stabling our challenges. And you know, they go in, they are told, hey, where come a boyfriend when fara? So we have to tell them, yes, even if you have a boyfriend, you must mark your boundaries, because that boyfriend is very innocent. But again, because of peer pressure, that friendship now grows into relationship, and relationship grows into a romantic relationship. And Jain has said, and they hug, and you know, when they are hugged with the wires of the feelings, they go paragasha. So we need to make sure that they own and they are responsible for every act and action they do, so that way they don't abort their destiny.
All right. Now, as we draw closer and closer to the end of this conversation, one aspect that especially as parents we struggle with is focusing on moving on. We always go back and forth. Sasa wewe, you know, ungepata ile tungekuwa hapa, lakini ni sawa. Tuendelee. 2 weeks later, ungepata ile, we would have moved on. We never really focus on the moving on part. We always are stuck in that future that didn't come to be. How do you help? And this is now going out exclusively to parents when it comes to focusing on moving on with the results that your child has gotten. Let me start with you, Mercy.
Wow. I always say, as a parent, reparent yourself first before you parent. Deal with yourself first before you deal with the child. Because once you don't deal with yourself first, you're going to project all this anger, resentment to the child. So deal with yourself. Before you even talk to that child, You bring those results here. Talk to yourself. This is my child. I love this child so much. They've gotten this. It starts with you. The acceptance, the admitting. And then just
all these steps.
All this. Just know that this is it. This is how I'm going to deal with it. Take a deep breath if you need to. Take a walk. And that way, you are going to, first of all, remove everything from yourself and now focus on the child. We have said most of the time we lose it because we are focusing at the wrong area instead of us focusing at the right thing. It has happened. It is like this. It is like this. And once you're done with it, if you need to go back to it, please do it alone. Don't do it with the child. This child has already moved on. You are the one who was pulling them down, and they keep not knowing that they can do better or they are better than that because you keep on reminding them. Again, listen to that child. Yeah, a time you let me talk to a family that has a mother and a father and a child. Let the mother bring her expectations, let the father bring the expectations, and let the child bring the expectations, and then let the child knows this is what I expect, because at the end of the day it's the child. Because even the battle between the parents usually makes the child wonder, now where am I, who am I, where am I going, and what is going to happen to me. For you parent your child.
Catherine, your advice to parents who are stuck on these results 2 weeks later, 3 months later, 3 years later, this najua ungepata ile hatungekuwa hapa.
What I want to tell the parents is that is history. And history does not determine our destiny. Yes, it is true there is called nothing, but they have a destiny. And you know, you cannot move forward when you're looking backwards. Even when you're driving on the road, you drive looking forward. If you look back, what happens? You're going to crash. So parents, what I want to encourage you is swallow the bitter one. Yes, it is your child that scored nothing, but that is not the end of it. And again, now we need to make sure parents help this child of yours. Yes, you can remember and mourn about it, but mourning about it will not change, so that we can help our children decide the decisions that will defend their destiny. And this can only be by moving forward. What are the steps that we need to move forward? As we go into Form 1, parents, we need to make sure that we put our fear somewhere and risk the children in the hands of God. Let them go. As a hunter who tried to hunt yesterday and they never got anything, they will not fail to wake up because they never got anything. They are going to go and sharpen their skills. So parents, the only thing that we can help our children do is instructing them the way to walk. Do not keep bringing up the bridge that they crossed, because if we bring it again, uriaguka, iyo ni ya uko. We have to now make sure that we move to today so that we can move forward. The word forward. You make sure that you are pressing and looking forward and hoping that it's going to get better. And I want to say again, and hope does not disappoint. These children have an appointment and they can turn themselves around. Jain, let me say again. You can imagine Bukwoma, here I am. So what we need to do is have faith in our children. As we have faith in our children, then the children, you must have faith in yourself. Then you must have a right attitude. Then you put those efforts. Do not even try to make us understand kulikuwa kukaeda pana. Let your efforts speak for you, because effort will bring in results.
Now, Mercy, as we close this conversation, would you advise parents and children who are really struggling to find a way around accepting and moving forward with these results to actually seek therapy and counseling?
Yes, it is very okay to seek help when you're not able to move forward, because getting stuck and staying there will not help. It will not help. The therapist or the counselor will help you unpack, because for you not to move forward, it means you have a lot that you have that is hindering you from moving forward. So they will help you unpack bits by bits, and you're going to be able to see things from a different perspective. Nothing is going to be added to you. You're just going to use what we have, and everything you unpack, and you'll be able to be lighter.
All right.
Yeah, and maybe the parting shot.
Yes.
Let me just tell them, it doesn't matter what happened for the child, for the parent. Jeremiah 29:11. God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, to prosper you, not to hurt you, but for you to have a future." Yes.
Catherine, your closing remarks in line with this conversation.
Parents, it is well and can get better. Even when it doesn't get better, there's no darkness that is so dark that it prevents the next morning to come. And I want us to look at the word sun. The sun in the morning, it will raise up and it will come and has never gotten tired. Parents, let us not get tired. Let us not give up on our children. There is hope. And that word is Romans 5:5 that says, and hope does not disappoint. When we look at the word hope as an acronym, H will tell us hold, O will tell us on, P will tell us problem aid. Yes, they did not perform very well, but doesn't make them a failure. They still hope, and hope does not disappoint. Thank you.
There you have it. Once again, this is all about an informative and encouraging session just to help you as a parent, as a teacher, or as a caregiver, and the child who was actually doing these exams. You know, you have gone through the 8 years. It was summed up in that one exam, but that does not, in a nutshell, describe you. So whatever results you got, work with what you had and look at the options that are available for you as a child, and even as a parent. This is the point where you come in really heavy for your child. We have been speaking with Karira, who is a teen youth mentor. We also have with us Chege, who is a mental health advocate. Thank you so much, ladies, for being with us and sharing from your expertise.
Thank you.
All right. Now, before we get to close, there's one, okay, I've scrolled too fast. Let me get this. Nime scroll sana. Imeenda wapi? There we go. This is a very informative discussion. I absolutely love it. Parents have so much to learn when it comes to how we parent our children. Again, we can all learn at any given time. So thank you so much for being with us. That was Patrick on Twitter. We do this again tomorrow. Be sure to join us here on Good Morning Kenya. KBC Channel 1 is the station. My name is Jain Wambui. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Bye-bye for now.